Hello everybody, my name is Kat and welcome back to my booktube channel. Today I have a pretty exciting video. I made a video kind of similar to this not that long ago, but I'll link that. But I'm going to talk about, so you want to read in 2023? And I'm just going to kind of go over how I feel like people should get started and how to get started and things that should help you and things to keep in mind and how to approach it, because it can seem very daunting if you are not somebody who actively reads or reads a lot, or maybe you haven't read in years. I see bookish content blowing up everywhere and I think it's inspiring more people to read, which is amazing, but a lot of people have no idea where to start. So this is going to be the guide to you want to read in 2023, which I love that rhymes a little bit. Kind of. Okay, so my first section of the video is BFFR. And this category is basically all about setting realistic expectations for yourself. So some things to note. The average person reads about a page per minute, so about 60 pages per hour. And the average length of a novel, which this is definitely like a broad, generalization. There are hundreds of books with hundreds of different page counts, but the average one's from 200 to 400 pages. So for the sake of this, I'm going to say 300 pages. So with 45 minutes to an hour of reading every single day, it should take you about 5 to 7 days to finish one average length book. And that doesn't seem so daunting when you break it down, because realistically you could be like, oh, a book a week, that's 52 books a year. However, don't feel pressured. Progress is progress. If you read one book in 2023, you are doing something for yourself. You are helping your brain. You are making progress. So don't look at all of these influencers who are reading hundreds, literally hundreds of books in a year and say, I could never do that, or like, that's what I have to live up to. That is not the case for 99.9% of people. I read 54 books last year and I'm super proud of myself. And that's a lot of books. And I even felt a little bit like, oh, I didn't do enough, because I'm flooded with content that's saying, I read 150, I read a book a day, I read, and that's just not realistic for the average person who has a job, has school, has other things that they need to take care of in their life. So do not feel like you are failing if you are not hitting an insane reading goal. When I started reading last year in 2022, my goal was to read 10 books. Just 10. I think that is a very safe starting goal for somebody. I don't think that that's underwhelming. I think that that is really good and will help you make progress. So don't be afraid to start small. You know what you're capable of, or you have an idea of how passionate you are going to be about something. So make a realistic goal for yourself. With the whole don't be pressured category, I also want to say it's okay to explore genres. Just because romance is blowing up on TikTok right now doesn't mean that you have to read romance books if that's not what you like. Just because a certain trope is blowing up, it doesn't mean you have to read that trope if that's not what you like. So explore, read what you want to read, figure out what you want to read. There are a lot of things that I didn't know that I liked, or I didn't know I disliked until I read it and I was like, ew, what is this? Explore genres, and it's okay to have an opinion about things. It is perfectly okay to think that my favorite book is the worst book you've ever read. Like, don't think that because one booktuber or one book talker says something that is the law. You are allowed to make your own opinions. A lot of people really hate Colleen Hoover, and a lot of people really love Colleen Hoover. So there are two sides. So don't be afraid. Do whatever you feel like, and don't be afraid to have an opinion. And a lot of people want to hear your opinion too, so it's good to have a different opinion. Next is start small and work your way up. Find smaller books or short stories. Novellas and short stories are very popular. You can find lots of them for free or for very cheap. I think that's a great way to find out what you like as well. You can look up certain tropes that you're interested in or certain plot lines that you're interested in, and you can read some short stories and get a sense of what you like. And I totally count those as books. If I read a book is a book. Add that to your list. I think the easiest thing to get into for me and maybe someone at my age, I'm in my 20s, is a short romance book. Romances are usually pretty quick. So I always recommend that. But if that's not what you're interested in, then ignore that. Super important as well. It is okay to DNF a book if you don't like it. You do not have to force yourself to finish a book. If you don't like it, move on. It's okay. I mean, I always say, like, give a book a fair shot. Don't DNF it 15 pages in, but like don't feel like you have to finish every book you read. If it's not your thing, it's just not a vibe, DNF it and move on to something you do like. That's how you figure out what you do and don't like as well. Next is don't waste your money. You do not have to buy copies of every single book that you've read. I feel like I have a lot of books, and I really don't compared to a lot of people on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and all that. I do not want to spend $15 every time I read something. That is a lot of money, and that adds up very quickly. So some resources for cheap or free books. Use Kindle Unlimited. It is, I don't remember, the price changes a lot, but they have deals a lot of the time where it's 99 cents for 3 months. Kindle Unlimited. They have a lot of awesome books on there. There is some Colleen Hoover. There's a lot of fantasy. There's a ton of romance book, a ton of sports romance book, billionaire romance book, bodyguard romance books. Any romance book you can think of is on Kindle Unlimited. Kindle Unlimited's great, saves you a lot of money. Wattpad free stories. Wattpad isn't really my taste, but if you are a little bit younger, you might enjoy Wattpad, like preteen and teen ages. I think Wattpad is more for. Wattpad does have a paid section to it, but there is a free section as well. And Wattpad is really great for very specific tropes if you want to look something up and find it, another way to really explore genres and find out what you like. Next is Libby. Libby is basically an ebook library, so you just sign up with your local library and you can rent the books that way. You can rent them for 2 weeks at a time. And then also thrifting. I know that this is a little bit harder because you're not always going to find what you're looking for, but when you go thrifting, take a look at the book section, take a few minutes to browse, and I guarantee you'll find like at least Twilight. That's always there. So you'll find something. And last but not least, my biggest tip, get inspired. Fill your life with book content. If that's what you really want to do this year, fill your life with it, surround yourself with it. It's almost like making yourself a vision board. So subscribe to people on BookTube, like me. Follow people on Book Talk or follow hashtags for Book Talk. Book Instagram accounts. Join a book club. There are tons of free book clubs, and also if you find booktubers you like, I know there are quite a few booktubers who do Patreons that are like $5 a month for a book club. That's a pretty great deal to me. And last, my favorite is join Goodreads or Storygraph. I personally don't really use Storygraph. I do use Goodreads all the time though. I love being able to see my progress and see the books I've read and the number like stack up. So I highly recommend Goodreads, but Storygraph is really cool. It's just like not as pretty. Like the user interface is not as good initially. And you can also follow your friends and see what they're reading and what they're reviewing the books as. Anyways, guys, these are my tips for reading in 2023, either reading more or getting into reading. I'm super excited if you guys are like genuinely interested in this and you're watching this video for genuine advice, because I love seeing more people read. It makes me happy, and it just like builds the community so much. So thank you for exploring. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching my content. And I hope you guys have a great 2023. I hope you read some awesome books. And if you do, or you're a new reader, comment down below what book you're starting with, or what your favorite book is, or what the book you want to read is. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye.